Hey, everybody. It is Eric J. Olson, your host today for the Managing Partners podcast. In this podcast, we interview America's top managing partners to find out how they're running their firms, how they're growing their firms, and how they are keeping their case pipeline full. And today I have with me from Miami, Florida, Aliette.
Carolan.
God, what is wrong with me? I am so sorry. Aliette Carolan.
Carolan.
Carolan. Why do I want to say Carolan? There's an A in there.
People do it all the time. Don't worry about it.
Nah, that's not cool. I'm sorry. We're going to do that again.
Okay.
All right. Jeez, I totally. Trust me, I'm a professional. All right. Here we go. Cut. Let's do that over. All right. Hey there, everybody. I am Eric J. Olson, your host for this episode of the Managing Partners podcast. In this podcast, we interview America's top managing partners to find out how they're running their firms, how they're growing their firms, and what they are doing to keep their case pipeline full. And today I have with me Aliette Carolan.
Yes. Hi. Good
Did I get it right?
You did. You got it right.
All right. We had to practice that a couple of times. I appreciate your patience. Let me tell the audience a little bit more about you. Aliette is the founder and managing partner of Carolan Family Law in Miami. She's also the founder and owner of thequickdivorce.com. In addition to that, she authored a book named Just in Case, Lose Your Heart, Not Your Mind, A Smart Woman's Guide to Marriage and Self-Sufficiency, which was published in 2007. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
You got it.
It was published in 2017.
Oh, my bad. It says it right there, and I said 2007. Well, I'm really striking out here, but I appreciate that. Can you tell the audience a little bit more about you and your firms?
Sure. So I started practicing family law around 2004. My experience in family law began in 2001 when I clerked in the family division of the Legal Services of Greater Miami. That was where I made the decision that as soon as I graduated law school, I would pursue a career in family law. I've been practicing exclusively in that area since that time. Around 2018 or so, I began working on the quickdivorce.com. I realized that a lot of our laws in Florida had been codified, well, the laws are obviously codified, but the issues rather is they had been narrowed. There was significant guides within the statutes to make it so that you could address routine issues in an easier, more efficient way. And so I started working on the quickdivorce.com. The idea of the quickdivorce.com is that it's for parties who have come to an agreement, who don't want to fight, who are smart enough to know that only lawyers benefit when they fight with each other. At the end of the day, most of the financial issues are a matter of adding and subtracting and dividing by two, something that reasonable minds should not disagree on the result of that, although you would be surprised. But anyway, I'm really proud of it. It's something I feel that it's in line with the way that I practice law in my law firm. I understand that I work with people, not corporations. I really strive to work ethically on behalf of my clients, never making mountains out of molehills, and trying to be a source of peace in a situation that could otherwise be wrought with emotional carnage. So that's how that happened.
I really like the concept, and I really like the look of the website. I think it's fantastic.
Thank you.
So what was the genesis for creating this, and how automated is it? I mean, I know that there was an opportunity here and you jumped on it, but yeah, how automated is it, and what has this done for you as far as saving you time and things like that?
Well, they're two completely separate companies. So it doesn't save me any time when it comes to Carolan Family Law. It is fully automated. So you answer some questions and it takes you to the pre-filled forms, and you you know how it is with any company. You put out a product, you figure out what is working for people, and then you pivot accordingly. So I'm constantly making revisions to the form process to make it easier. It is different than the other form companies that are out there because I'm behind it. They're my forms. They're my language. It's my boilerplate language that I've honed over the course of the last almost 18 years. The idea is that people come to this company and they say, okay, I like that it's a human behind it. It's not just, some free automated forms that are otherwise available in the Supreme Court websites of every state, right? Because that's a lot of what we see out there. These are not generic forms. And the idea came, because I realized maybe, I've been through a divorce myself. So during that process, and it was very amicable, obviously I know what I'm doing. And so I have 2 children, and I know that the last thing I wanted was to fight, because the conflict is what ruins children's lives. You know, they can move to a smaller house and be okay, but being parents at war is so destructive. And so I realized that that's the kind of lawyer that I wanted to be, right? I wanted to be putting out there the kind of energy and the kind of product, not just with a quick divorce, but as a lawyer, and say, you don't have to fight. Divorce doesn't have to be a war. Let's change this narrative and say, divorce could be a solution. There's no reason to be miserable and unhappy and destroy each other. Yeah. If you've reached the point where you no longer want to be together, honor that if you must, and there's clients sometimes that will come to me and I'll get a feeling like maybe they're not ready. And I'll always say to them, have you given your marriage everything you've got, right? Because marriage can be a beautiful thing. Having a real partnership is an amazing thing that is a blessing. And it's not easy. There's always going to be ups and downs. And sometimes divorce shouldn't be your first reaction, right? Yeah. So that's why I wrote the book, So that's in the book, I'm trying to tell women, like, if you participate in your marriage, you have a better chance of staying in it, right? If you abdicate your role as an adult and just, let somebody take care of everything, and then you kind of lose touch with reality, and you lose touch with humanity, and you lose touch with what it takes to earn the money to support a household, that it gets disenchanting sometimes in a relationship. So even though I make my living divorcing people, it's not really what I want. I don't feel like I need to go after it. I want it to be. I'm sorry,
there's
I've gone
enough
on for a long time,
around.
But yeah, there's enough divorce to go around. There's enough money to go around. Yeah. So that kind of influences my marketing strategies. Right.
Yeah. Speaking of which, what is your general marketing strategy, and how does it differ between the 2 different companies?
They're completely different, right? So my law firm is a boutique law firm in the sense that I don't take every case that walks in the door. We are not a mill. We're not a factory. We handle, sort of a certain level of case at this juncture. And really, I focus on my personal connections, my contacts, my network. And I believe in the process of developing personal relationships with people. What I do is very personal. It's not a PI case, right? Like, so if you're referring a case to me, you're referring it because you know who I am, you know what I stand for, you know that if I need to go to the mat, I'll go to the mat. I mean, I'm a litigator at heart, right? So if I need to fight, I'll fight, but it's not what I want. It's not what I want to do. And so the people who refer to me are people who say, okay, she's tough and she won't take, she won't get walked all over, but she's also going to try to make your case as amicable as possible. She's always going to try to save you the most money. And so those are the kinds of relationships that I foster. With the quick divorce, it's a little less about my one-on-one personal relationships. That's more my digital marketing. That's more my Facebook ads, my Google ads, and things of that nature.
Gotcha. How are you currently handling your marketing these days? Are you doing it in-house yourself? You running those ads? You work with someone else? You have someone that works for you?
No, I have somebody who works for me who takes. I can't do that too. You know?
Yeah.
I also, it's also complicated. It seems easy when you hear about it and you hear the concepts, and we as lawyers, we understand the concept. I mean, I understand how they strategize and the technology today is impressive. But no, I have people who handle those kinds of things for me. I do try to write my own blogs as often as I can. But in terms of the digital marketing approach and the strategies, I have people that I work with.
That's great. Gotcha. Fantastic. What is something that is working particularly well for you now that maybe hasn't worked incredibly well in the past? Something that seems to be working better than usual.
I think that I haven't really changed anything. Let me not make something up. There's really nothing. My strategy with my law firm has always been the same: is to treat every client like they're my most important client, and I take a lot of time to make sure that everybody feels like they're getting the attention that they deserve. I never take for granted the business that I have in search of the business that I'm looking for.
There you go.
I think that coming at it like that has really helped my business, because I want to grow it organically. My law firm business. Now, the Quick Divorce is a new enterprise for me too, so I'm still figuring things out. It's like I was telling you about the forms. We pay attention to the feedback that we get. I'm always pivoting when I need to pivot. If there's something I think that needs to be better, I want the product to be as perfect as possible. And another thing that we do too is that we electronically file for our clients, which a lot of these companies do not. And I do that because even though it's relatively easy to electronically file, it's kind of a hassle,
Sure.
And I figure, it's for us, it's something routine. Yeah. So why not take it off their plate? Right?
That's nice. Yeah, exactly. Make it easy for your clients, because even if you're electronically filing, you probably have to create an account, right?
Right.
You have to create a password, save that password. Yeah, all those things. So it can still be a pain, that's for sure. Well, yeah. Well, when it comes to also to your marketing, what is something that maybe you've tried and just surprisingly it didn't work for you?
A lot of those online sites,
aggregators.
Yes, that they they promise you, they're going to write this bio for you, and they're going to do this SEO for you, and they're going to provide these backlinks for you. Yeah. And that has never really worked for me. And in fact, recently, they almost tricked me. Somebody called me pretending to be one of these, one of these relatively, well-known sites. And I don't want to say the name because, it doesn't matter. And even though it wasn't that company, it was actually somebody pretending to be from that company, trying to sell me the plaque. And you know how it is, the plaque and the badge and the bio and the backlink. Yeah. And I never just hand over my credit card information, but that's just how I am, right? And I said, okay, well, thank you for all the information. Send me the email, summarize what you've told me, and I'm going to think about it, and I will, I'll let you know either way. And I do always let them know either way. I feel like the people out there who make their living in, turning these leads deserve to know you can take me off your call list, or yes, I'm going to buy what you're selling. So I always answer. And the guy got so angry that, he yelled at me and he hung up. And so I called.
That's not good in sales.
No, that's where I knew something was up. I called the company and I was like, this just happened to me. And they said, that person doesn't work for us. We don't even sell those services. And that was, it was a scam. So
yeah, I mean, kind of hard to pin it on that company since someone
Of
was
course not, right?
scamming
It was not
everybody.
their fault.
But
Right.
yeah, I've heard similar stories, not about the scam per se, but about the websites. I think what you're talking about is like a website that'll you could build the website yourself using their website. You can pay $100 and they'll SEO it for you. They'll put you on listings, the search engines. Yeah, those days are kind of, well, totally over actually. Certainly when it comes to getting effective marketing, it's a recurring thing. It's not a one-time transaction. You don't pay $100
Right.
and you have SEO. You have to continuously put content on your website, continuously get high quality backlinks. It's more
Right.
than just, a one-time payment. So it's
Yes,
interesting
I
that you
don't
found that
do
too.
those things anymore. Yeah.
Gotcha. Well, great. What are your growth plans for the next couple of years?
Well, so with the law firm, I really only work within Miami-Dade County. Every once in a while, I'll work in Broward, depending on the case and whether I think it's a good idea for me or a good fit. But with the quick divorce, I can expand to the entire state. And so that's my primary growth plan for the
Gotcha.
next, year to the next, into the future.
What would it take to expand beyond that? Would you have to have partnerships with other attorneys, other family law attorneys in other states?
Well, I'm looking into that because the plan is to go national, but one day at a time.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
right now I'm focusing on mastering what I'm doing within the state of Florida, where I obviously have the wealth of experience that I need
Absolutely.
to say I'm an expert in this field. I know what I'm doing here. I don't need to rely on anybody. So I'm gonna focus on Florida for now, and then ultimately, yes, the idea is to be able to grow it to be a national brand.
Good for you. That's
Thank
really
you.
exciting.
It is
Well,
exciting.
if
Yeah.
anybody out there has either a case they would like to refer to you, or if they have any questions, what's a good way to get in touch with you?
So through my website, we have contact us forms that I come right to my email and my assistant's email. And we're very quick. We respond usually the same day, sometimes within 20, but at least within 24 hours. There's also phone numbers there on the website that if they want to call and speak to a human, we're available. So either one of those two formats is good.
Fantastic. Well, thanks so much for your time. All right, everybody. If you would like to check out other episodes like this, you can go to arraylaw.com/podcast. We have about 150 episodes right now, and each one is tagged by practice area and state, so you can find exactly what you're looking for. And if you're looking for digital marketing for your law firm, please check out my company, Array Digital, at arraylaw.com. We specialize in website design, search engine optimization, online ads, and social media. Thanks again.
Thank you for having me.